Wassail!
Wassail.
Cherokee greeting. Wave the great feather. Father's Day, nationwide. Here and there and about, individuals just out of the blue say to me, Happy Father's Day. So I have to return something because first and foremost, I'm Coyote. And so I want to say, to first fathers. But that sounds okay in English, but there isn't really a way in the native language, to put that same rendering. The only way I can actually make sense of that is Coyote, Adea, and that is First Nations father. And the First Nations father, acclaimed and exalted by all of Native America, is Red Cloud. Red Cloud is Yuan Kral Yuza, exalted above everyone. He is the true father of First Nation. His name, a Red Cloud, has really derived from, at the time he was being born, from his mother. Something up in the sky, up in the heaven, very dramatic, was taking place. It would sound like, from what they said, like an exploding star. It also had the roar of a lion, and so forth. So the way of the red cloud, to render that phenomena, because it could say, a light or a disturbance in heaven. And that's how that he has got his name. So that's the way that I am honoring First Nations father. The next thing is the summer solstice. The summer solstice is coming up this week, and all these things are blending together. And a way to introduce this is making a line of cornmeal. It has to do with, in Native America, all life is a matter of roads, wai. And these roads have what we call guardian spirits. And the way to activate these guardian spirits is by sprinkling cornmeal. You could say the way that a devotee activates a saint is by prayer. The way that we would activate the guardians of our life ways would be by sprinkling cornmeal. Now, just a little touch of history to illustrate something like that. We have a Coronado Bridge, and we have a town over there, Coronado. This is all named after a Spanish privateer, albeit mounted on horses, who were licensed to attack and pillage people in the Southwest. And they were sponsored by the belief in the Navajo myth, that not the Navajo, the Aztec myth, that their wealth came from the area of New Mexico, and that's what started this campaign. The village, the pueblo that Coronado and his men came to has come to be known as Zuni. Actually, it's Awiku. Awiku means the house of the goddess, and that these are people who they are rather Berbers from the Eastern Mediterranean, speaking Anatolian language, and the goddess that they are serving is Sybil, and they themselves are known as the Cabell, and so forth. And somehow that was the idea of Coronado, that these were Berbers who had escaped Spain with their gold, and he was able to get a lot of sponsorship to mount this expedition. The point that I'm getting to is that when he and his men arrived at this village of Hawiku, it was the summer solstice. And for the summer solstice, the sun priest had made a line of cornmeal across the road going into the pueblo. And this drawing a line is the sacred precinct, because for the summer solstice in all of the pueblos, then and now, 400 years ago and now, the intensity of ceremonies to consider the power of the sun and to bring that into harmony and regulation for people who grow crops. It was was imperative. And so it was necessary to draw the line of cornmeal across the road. And when Coronado and the Spaniards crossed that road, they announced their hostility. And the people had to respond and deal with that. The rest of the ideas promoted by Fred Harvey and the Santa Fe Railroad and Arizona highways to the fable of the 7 cities of Cibola is all a manufacture of that. But the main point that I was saying there, it had to do with the drawing of cornmeal to say that this is now a sacred precinct in ceremonial mode at the village of Hawiku, the house of the goddess Sybil, like that. To illustrate the summer solstice, I have this piece here. This is universal in the Southwest. These are talking prayer sticks, or tewapaho, and it's Dawn Boy and Dawn Girl. And for the solstice, the individual sun priest or sun watcher who is keeping tabs when the sun is going to come up with a pair of these goes to a special place, usually look like a little rock enclosure, or it can have a little bit more to it, as a shrine. And to set these up, it's facing east. Even here, as we are in this room, we are facing eastward, so they're in the right alignment. And to put these facing in that direction. And this here, I've shortened the string, but this is a breathing feather and the string, actually to draw it out like this and to sprinkle the cornmeal along it as activating that roadway for the sun, and to sprinkle it here and sprinkle it in that direction. And then a kind of a prayer or a chant that's, something simple like this. This day, my son, father, you have come outstanding to your sacred dwelling place, where we find our sacred spring. I give you prayer meal here, a finished road, old age, sacred water, ancient corn seeds, good fortune, spiritual power, strong thoughts. Grant this life road, son, father. Aho. Now the next thing that's taking place here is the rising up of the star constellation called the Great White Buffalo constellation. In Native America, references that really are generated from a European or other world perspective is that Native America is nature-centered or earth-centered. But there isn't any way actually in our languages to affirm that. Actually, it's the stars. And the way that that is expressed in the stars is we ourselves receive the guidance of the stars because there are spirit powers attached to them. And all of Native America and into ancient Mexico, it really is the stars. And Cherokee, Lakota, and other people definitely are saying that we have originated in particularly the constellation of the Pleiades. And Alcyone in Cherokee is our mother. When you drive up behind a Subaru car, then you can know you're actually looking at the head of the buffalo. And that these stars aren't just spots in the sky, they're actually living beings. So the living beings are constituting the very vitality that informs us. And here in this rendering here has the whole white buffalo with the Pleiades at the head, the 3 stars of Orion as the back, Rigel for the ribs, and Sirius is for the tail.
Pleiades.
Far in the east, far below, there a lodge was made, a beautiful lodge. White buffalo of dawn, there his lodge was made, a beautiful lodge. The dawn buffalo there, his lodge was made, a beautiful lodge. Soft possessions, for them a lodge was made, a beautiful lodge. Water in plenty surrounding, for it a lodge was made, a beautiful lodge. Corn pollen, sacred, for it a lodge was made. The ancients make their presence beautiful. The white buffalo, the dawn, his lodge is beautiful. Oh, 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 oh.